Hello and welcome back. Another Tuesday, another podcast. Thank you for listening in. This is the How to Life podcast. I'm Dr. Laura Jaggett, and this is episode 44. The last few episodes have talked a lot about different ways to make money through a job, saving, investing. So let's continue on with that theme. Today's topic is going to discuss reaching financial goals through passive income. There are lots of ways to do that, and today I'm speaking with Robbin of CreatorEgg.com, who is on track to financial freedom and shares his journey on his YouTube channel of the same name. He's very transparent about his income, the successes, the fails, and how he's doing it. And the majority of his income right now comes from his self-published eBooks that he sells online. Yes, eBooks. He quit his job in 2017 and makes money with those books that he created several years ago. They're evergreen, which means he doesn't have to keep creating new books. They just keep making him money. And not just enough to survive, but with enough surplus that he can aggressively save toward his goal of financial freedom in about 10 years. And he is on track to get there maybe even sooner. So I asked Robbin to share how you even go about creating an ebook. And in his very generous and transparent way, he is going to tell you exactly how to do it. Hi, Robbin. I'm really excited to have you on the show, and welcome.
Thanks, Laura. It's great to be here. I'm excited as well. It's my first real podcast interview in English, so it's exciting times for me.
Oh, we feel very honored for that. Before we get started, I'm going to have you, if you would, just introduce yourself and give us a little summary about you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So my name is Robbin. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 31 years old. I'm on a goal to financial freedom, as I would like to call it, one day in like 10, 15 years, hopefully, maybe even sooner. And my goal is to have $2.5 million invested. And I'm 8% on track right now. And I'm sharing that journey of me going to financial freedom on my new YouTube channel. And I wrote 4 books about training your puppy. So how to prepare yourself for a puppy. So if you're thinking of adopting a puppy anytime soon, you should definitely read the books. But that's my main income source right now, and I see it as a passive income stream. It's a whole business I built around it. In the last few months, the revenue was around $25,000 to $30,000 per month, and the profits are around $15,000 to $18,000. So therefore, I can save a lot of dollars every single month, and that's the goal of to save really aggressively.
You started this by writing an ebook, and puppy training isn't something really that you were trained in yourself. Were you an expert at the time you decided to make a puppy training book?
No, it's actually, I created a blog in the beginning. That's when I went into the rabbit hole of making money online.
Why did you choose puppy training?
That's because I was most interested in dogs in particular at that moment in time.
Did you do any research to see if there was a need?
Yeah, we did some keyword research. So I wrote 20 blogs or something on several different topics. That's the way how I got traction at the beginning.
Did you have any training in creating ebooks? When you got the idea, I'm going to make an ebook. What does it make? What do you have to do that? Did your ebook come as a result of the blog posts that you wrote?
Not really, actually. I read the book Ask. It's a great book, and it's all about how to research your audience. What questions you need to ask your audience. How can you find the problems in your market? How can you find the different audiences? There are always different buckets inside that audience. So for me, for example, I had puppy owners who already had a puppy. I had people who were thinking of adopting a puppy. I had people thinking about whether or not they should take a dog. So therefore, I created 4 different audiences. I had a website of 10,000 visitors at the time on that website. So if you have an audience, you can really easily interview them.
When did you create the ebook? What year?
I think the ebook, the first version was 2016.
How long did it take you to get it done?
The first ebook cost me 7 months to write and also design. Then I wrote 3 more ebooks. I wrote them, designed them, and published them in 3 months. Every month, one book. Yeah.
How do you even go about learning how to do this? What did you do?
Yeah, the first step was researching your audience. Ask your audience what their biggest struggle or problem is. That's the first thing. So then they told me their problem. And one of their problems was potty training your puppy.
How many pages are in an ebook?
Yeah, the thing was I wanted to publish a product soon. I could have go about implementing different subjects in one book, but that would take me like maybe a whole year to write one book. And I just wanted to publish a product. That was my goal, really quick.
And all of this was just created on your computer because it's an ebook.
Yeah.
And the images, were they your own, or did you get them from like a royalty-free site?
I bought them from a photographer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like 300 euros, I think, or something.
How do you publish it? You just put it together on your own and then sell it on your website?
Yeah, that's basically it. I just wrote the first version in Microsoft Word. Then I sent that version to a designer. I hired a designer student. So it was pretty cheap.
So 7 months from the idea until it's published. And then how long did it take before somebody started buying it?
I think the first month. That's the advantage of having an audience. I had the website. I had an email list. So immediately there were some sales.
Were you 100% dedicated to making money off this ebook at the time, or were you doing something else and this was kind of a side hustle in the beginning?
My goal was to be self-employed, but I started working at an internet marketing firm as an internet marketing consultant because I tried for 1 year to be self-employed, but it failed actually. I had a lot of different products going on, including this puppy training blog. When I started at the internet marketing firm, I decided to go full focus on one single project. And that was the puppy training blog. So I had an income from the job. So that was pretty nice to have. Like the income, it's pretty nice to have an income besides building your own thing. Mm-hmm. So I worked there for 4 days in a week. I agreed upon with the employers that I was working on my own project. They knew that. That was pretty nice that they gave me that possibility to work on my own thing.
Would you say that it is way better to focus in on one thing rather than spread yourself too thin? You had a lot of ideas going about how to make money. You picked the one that you liked, that was the most interesting, and doing that allowed you to really grow it. Is that correct?
I picked the one with the most traction, actually. So not the one I liked most. So the dog training blog had the most traction, the most interaction, and most visitors on the website. So I went with that one. And but the other part of your question, like, is focus really important? I think that's the most important thing, and I think that's the only reason I eventually succeeded. That I had one clear goal. Is writing those books. If you ask anyone how long would it take you to write a book, they always say like years. I wrote and published in 3 months 3 books. So because of the focus.
Where did you find your research material?
So I hired dog experts, and for each book I created a survey with around 70 questions. You can imagine if 20 experts give their answer to an open-ended question like how to potty train a puppy and all those particular details on potty training, you get a book, right? I need to summarize in short.
You're the curator.
But the hard part of like asking experts to fill in a survey to actually share their knowledge. The hard part is convincing them to join your survey.
How do you convince them? Do you offer them something, or you just are nice to them?
So in the last 3 books, I also offered them their hourly wage. But the first one was free, actually. I just asked a lot of dog experts, dog trainers to fill in the survey, and they did. But I did receive a lot of complaints that it was a long survey. It was like a survey from 90 minutes.
So it's better to hire someone. This way they are getting paid for their time and they do it more willingly. So your income now is 100% from the puppy dog training eBooks. Is that correct?
I think it's around
the majority of it.
Yeah, majority of it, and 95%. Yeah.
So you can make a living doing this. Can anyone do this? Do you have to have any special skills to create an ebook?
I think, of course, everyone can do it, but well, it's just one step at a time. Don't skip like 10 steps. Just take one step at a time, and eventually you will hit your target.
Was there ever a point where any of this was overwhelming for you?
No, because I always took one step at a time. That's the thing. You won't get overwhelmed if you just. I spoke to a friend like a few years ago, and I explained him what I was doing, and he told me that like I could never do that. That was his response. There's so much things to do, and he wasn't taking one step at a time. He saw all the steps at once, and then you will never get started because.
You talk yourself out of it. So you did not think of the areas that you didn't know. You didn't say, oh, there's a bunch of steps I don't know about. You visualized the end goal and then just took the steps that you could take.
Yeah,
and then that led you to the next one. And then you figured out the areas that you didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly true. Yeah.
Let's talk about visualization. You've mentioned that before on your YouTube channel. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So I think one good example of this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, the big bodybuilder, the famous actor. In his book, he writes that you need to have a really clear goal. So when he was like 16 years old and when he was trying to be a bodybuilder, he had only plan A. There was no plan B for him. Plan A was to become the best bodybuilder at the time. So if you have one clear vision, then I think you will reach your target eventually. That's what I'm after right now. So I have a clear vision right now to have $2.5 million invested. That's my goal. And I think if you have a really clear vision where you're heading, then you will definitely reach your destination one way or another.
I like the fact that you are taking everyone along on this journey of yours on your YouTube channel. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting actually. I always wanted to talk about like marketing or business, but I always thought that I wasn't qualified enough to do such things because I didn't have training. I wasn't a dog trainer myself. But this year is going quite well, and so I decided like, what do I like most? So that's actually the result is creating a YouTube channel and talking about my process of building businesses, and I'm planning on building more passive income streams. I want to bring along everyone on the YouTube channel, and that's the idea of it.
And yours is good. Tell us where we can find it.
The best thing is to go to iamrobbin.com, and it's redirecting to the YouTube channel.
So before we go, since the main topic of this was about how to create an ebook, can you just give us a little step-by-step summary?
So if you have an audience, whether that's a social media audience, it doesn't matter like how big it is. The first thing is actually to ask that audience a question. So you can just maybe create a story, a story on Instagram, if you have an Instagram audience, and ask the question like, what's your biggest problem in regards to XYZ? But that's the first steps to really narrow down the problem of the audience. The next step is to make buckets out of the audience you're having. So if you have like 1,000 followers on Instagram, those are not exactly the same people. They're not in the same situation. So try to really narrow down what their situation is, so you can make a really clear product for that problem they're having for that particular audience. I think that's a good start.
So once you have that, then you would find the answers to the pain points, whether you are researching yourself or hiring experts.
Yeah. It totally depends indeed of your own situation. If you're the expert yourself, you can of course create the information product yourself. If you're not the expert, like I wasn't the dog expert. I asked other experts to fill in my survey to help me out on particular things. You can also start with a free ebook. So my first real tiny ebook was a free ebook, like just a checklist of daily schedule of how to go about training your puppy.
And the free version, how would you use that to your benefit?
So good question. I used it to my benefits to gain new newsletter subscribers. I think one of my blog posts has the best conversion on it. So it's like it has a 10% conversion. So every 1,000 people visiting that blog post fill in their name and email address and download my free ebook.
The free version gets interest. And then if they find enough value in it, they'll say, let me go ahead and buy the book.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the first step. Create a free offer. try to get some traction with a free ebook. I think that's maybe the best advice for beginners. A year later or so, I also created audiobooks from it and paperback, and I also translated them to English. And
so you put quite a bit of time in the beginning. Now that you've been doing this for such a long time, how much time do you spend on the ebook? Are they evergreen now? They they convert and sell on their own?
Now they're automated. It's a good question. I created also on my YouTube channel how I spent my time. So I remember exactly how much time I spent on that particular month. So I spent on time like 16 hours per month on average on that business. And it generates like $25,000 in revenue. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that.
I think that's very good. So this was a great introduction into how you created that. And anybody who wants to watch the YouTube videos, go to iamrobbin.com. You can find the YouTube channel from there. And I've been on there, and he does take you step by step, his thought process, what he's thinking, how he did it, and in specific videos. So there's a lot more info there.
It's a good thing to note here that my name is with 2 B's.
All of that will be in the show notes for this episode as well. Robbin, is there anything else I missed or you would like to say?
For me, I find it really important to have the financial freedom. And it's not that you need to be an entrepreneur to gain that financial freedom, but it's way easier if you're an entrepreneur because the sky is the limit on how much you can earn every single month than being an employee of someone else's dreams.
And in this day and age, with the technology that we have and the access to it, you can do it.
Yeah, and it's so far more exciting to work for yourself, to earn your own dollars. Yeah.
Robbin, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all this information, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. We'll be watching you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laura. It was really nice to be here.
Well, that is something to consider. If this interests you and you'd like some more guidance from someone who is doing it really well, Robbin will be happy to help you go full-time with your craft. Check out his website, creatoregg.com. Also, for inspiration, practical advice, and to follow his journey to financial freedom, go to iamrobbin.com with 2 B's, and that will take you to his new YouTube channel. And he has great information there. You can find the direct links to his sites and more in the show notes for this episode at howtolife.com/044. For those of you who really like the idea of an online business and making money through passive income streams, I have another podcast that you will enjoy. Episode 22, Start Your Online Business. Jake Lang of the Entrepreneur Ride Along talks at length about that topic. He really breaks it down for you in such an easy way and will inspire you to act on your idea. I want to thank you for listening to this episode and this show. I hope that you found it interesting and valuable. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please hit that 5-star rating button before you go. I recently had a few new great reviews, and I want to give a public shout out to those folks who wrote them. That was so nice. I am very appreciative and so happy that you're enjoying my show. Thank you. Please spread the word about the How to Life podcast and the How to Life YouTube channel. I love the content I'm putting out, and I'm very happy that it really is helping some people. Please share, like, and subscribe, and help me reach others who could benefit from this information. That's it for today. I'm wishing you an accomplished rest of the day and a satisfying rest of the week. Do good work and make sure to acknowledge all the stuff that you did get done. All the wins, that's important. And also notice all the wonderful little surprises and encounters that you have daily. Look for the good. You are wonderful and you're doing so well. You got this.